Cosmic here, welcome to the channel, and today we finally get to dive into the One Punch Man set for Union Arena that is launching at the same time as Japan, so nobody knows how good this set is going to be yet, or key cards, which is really exciting because we get to explore this at the same time. So, as always, we're going to be opening up the one booster box we have here, and then, of course, I will be going over all the case hits at the end, but it's always exciting just to see what we can get out of one booster box, and it also gives me a chance to talk about, any key cards that might come up as we go through it. So, a little bit different of a camera setup, you may notice. We'll see how it looks at the very end. But up first, we have our box promotion pack, which is going to be all the raid fodders or the zero energy cards with a special foil version. So let's let that get in frame. So these do come standard in the set, but again, this is the only way to get them in foil. So I'll put that off to the side. And as always, we'll probably go through half of the box at kind of like a normal pace. Just wait for these all to get in frame here. And then we'll talk about any, again, cards that come up. But at least from initial kind of looking at, and I'm also preparing my deck list video, which goes over every single archetype that you can play out of this set. There's a lot of interesting brews, I gotta say, that I'm pretty excited for. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of takes the top spots here in a couple weeks. But I'm very excited to get brewing. And they have like 7 different decks so far. So for our first rare, we have Genos, and then Boros for another rare. And I'll just kind of put those off to the side. I have a new lighting. I don't know how I love it or hate it yet, but you'll definitely have to let me know in the comments below. Again, I'm just trying to figure out what's going to work for a lot of these unboxing videos that I'm going to be doing, both for, Union Arena, Gundam. Probably have to talk about it at some point, but the 11 different card games that we have coming out this year that I will be diving into. Again, not kind of buying a case of every single set, but at least getting a box or getting some starters to talk about them, because at Gamma we got 3 more. For another rare, we have Incineration Cannons, Genos' special, and Mosquito Girl. Break these up by color. And again, I have already opened my case, so I have quite a few shinies to show off, but really excited to see what we get out of this last box here, just because it's always kind of hoping for a couple more yellows. I really think I'm going to like the Event Matters style of deck that I covered in my last video, but is Terrible Tornado and Hellish Blizzard pairing of a deck. So we'll have to see how that all comes together, but it's just something different that we haven't really gotten out of Union Arena yet, at least in the West. So I'm always excited for new play styles, and Serious Punch and Garu for the rares in this pack. So for those that may be new to Union Arena, you do get at least 2 rarities or higher per pack. The one exception being the non-foil action points that are 2 per box can take the spot of one of the foils. And then, of course, you can always get a super rare and a rare in a pack, or the alt arts and a rare. So we'll see those as they come up. And, of course, if anyone wants to stop the video at any point to check out maybe some of your favorite characters or just read more of the card effects, feel free to do so. But we have Terrible Tornado for a rare. And the first SR, Metal Bat, which the green deck in this set goes back to kind of the green bleach, where it's the number of cards you have with that typing matter. And I do love with this new camera, you can see some of the new foiling, which is really nice. So for bleach players who just want kind of a little bit of an updated, maybe you just really liked that play style, but wish it was a little bit stronger, then you can definitely look forward to Green One Punch Man to dive into and have a very similar play style. So again, I'm very excited to see how these couple sets play up, or this set in particular plays against the rest of the field. Because again, I think there are some key things that really have caught my attention, especially for, of course, those who are excited for Saitama and to have that type of set. But again, I'm very excited for this archetype in particular, Terrible Tornado and Hellish Blizzard. So again, this is a very traditional one that we see with Terrible Tornado as a way to protect another card. This is also featured in like the Lancelot set, or in the Lancelot deck, I should say. And then Speed of Sound. This is just looking to be a very fun, aggressive red style of deck. But what's interesting about it is that it cares about how many cards you have in your sideline, and then moving them to the outside area. So really curious to put that one together, because it does require a little bit more planning, just in terms of like what cards you want to burn out of your drop versus when you want to try to save the effect for a following turn. So it'll be fun. And again, the Boros, just getting to add the life card to your hand, so still keeping your hand size pretty strong, while going for other effects, can be really nice. So here we have our second SR. And the thing I'll mention here is that we do get 6 SRs per box. They usually are 2 of each color. Again, not always, but generally you'll get 2 of each color of the SRs. No duplicates. So that's why I always tell people too, if you're looking to, get into the game, of course, just buy singles for whatever your favorite deck might be. And then also, it's just really helpful to, avoid single boxes. If you buy a case, of course, you'll get like a full breakdown, and it's always easy to, maybe sell the extras out of it. But it's either definitely a buy a singles type of game or just buy an entire case if you want to live for the gamble a little bit. So Genos and Speed of Sound for more rares. Oh, well, I just saw a corner, so we'll see what this is when we get to it, but something shiny coming up. And also the Monster Association one seems a bit more interesting. Again, having some sight cards that matter or various effects that care about your life total. So I have to dig into it. I think there's probably going to be like 2 very different style of red decks that you can make. Again, one being more aggressive and one being more of the monsters kind of coming together. But that's always half the fun. Okay, let me just scoot that back a little bit. So our rare, we have Silverfang, which I did talk about this one a little bit as well. I really do like the idea of a more aggressive yellow deck because you're getting to actually draw the extra cards, which can be really helpful. And then it looks like we are going to get one of our first alt arts. So the other thing that I'll mention, for the alt arts themselves, they can be 1 to 2 per box. You can get like an error box. It's extremely rare, but I have seen 3 hits out of a box before because it contained a action point or double SR. But again, you can kind of see the texturing there in the back. You can see the outline of the gold stamping. And this is really telling me that I need to get a different light source. So if anyone has a good recommendation for a light, let me know. But put that off to the side here because I'm still trying to figure out kind of what works best. So we'll see how this looks in post and all that. Halfway through the box. So at this point, we are just going to go through this last pack slowly. We've probably seen a good chunk of the commons and uncommons at this point, and then we will just be shiny hunting for the last half of the box. So again, we have the hero archetype. We have Saitama, both in green and, there's another SR. Both in green and yellow, which I guess makes sense, right? We got to have the guy himself kind of taking the spotlight, but I think I like the green version a lot better, and that might be a bit of a hot take. I think it will be kind of your choice out of it. But we'll have to see once we get some more testing in. So again, quickly going to the back here, we have a rare Silverfang. And we have one of those non-foil action points that we had talked about. So in a case, you do get 1 foil action point, which again, we'll show here at the end. But you do get 2 non-foil ones as well. So a green Terrible Tornado and a SR Terrible Tornado as well. And that's the deck that I'm probably most excited for just because, again, it is something different. We get kind of the event cards that actually matter. The Nikkei set that we're going to be getting at some point a little bit later will also have that same style. So look forward to that. If you do like the One Punch Man version, there's going to be another style of that deck coming later. But I do know the Nikkei version of the deck wasn't as strong, and this one does look a lot better thanks to the other SR that we get. So Moomin Rider and King, a very important setup card for the green Saitama deck. Again, getting the self-mill, getting the option to draw some extra cards, remove something, 5k body, which counts for his special that we covered in our last video. Very, very good SR. So this is a case where you can see that I did get 3 green SRs, and I do think green overall will be the best deck out of One Punch Man. So shocker, I just like green decks anyways. That's exciting news for me. The other action point. But again, I think the King will probably end up being a card a lot of people are after just because they want to play Saitama, and then it is like the key enabler for the deck. Another double rare pack with Hellish Blizzard and Fist of Flowing Water Crushing Rock. Love the names that take a long time to say there. Then last pack, which is a SR because we only hit 5 so far. Yep. We have Super S, and then we have Genos for the yellow SR. So only 1 red SR for this entire box. But again, this is another one that, as I talked about upgrading these starter decks, this is definitely one that you're going to want to pick up on. Love to see the texturing and the rainbow foiling in the back. So with that out of the way now, let's just throw this box to the side. Let's show off some shiny, maybe the thing that people care about a lot more. And again, in a case, you're either going to get a double star or a triple star and an action point for your hits. And, well, we got a double star. So for our signature, we got the Speed of Sonic Sound Sonic. I'll get it right one of these times. With the signature, you can see the texturing there in the background. Absolutely gorgeous card. Love the way this looks. For our action point, we got Hellish Blizzard and Terrible Tornado. And again, I really like the starter deck version of them, actually, the action point that you can get out of some of them. So I'm not sure if I'm going to go for this one or the other one. And the one thing I will say about this card in particular, you can kind of see the dot up here. Now that the camera's good enough, you can see like the foiling right here. They look like they're damaged, but it's just actually the pattern that's in the background of these cards. So that one will kind of trip you up if you're not ready for it. Going into our red alt arts, we have Mosquito Girl. Again, going with the House of Evolution, or the monsters, as it were. We have the 2-drop Garu. We have a 3-drop. Again, the heavy gold foiling on that one, coming out looking pretty good. We actually got 2 copies of this one, trying to show off more of the texturing in the background. Boros, the raid version, which gets cheaper if you're chucking away your life. So again, for aggressive red decks, of course, this is going to be a key card to pick up, but I'm very curious to see how that deck performs. Going into our yellow ones, we have Terrible Tornado with these steps, so just a 0 energy. We have the Searcher Hellish Blizzard, and we actually got 2 of these, and I really do like the stamping there on the side for One Punch Man they did on some of the cards, with like the title and then the name of the characters themselves. So I thought that was pretty cool. And we have Genos, another Searcher card here, as it were. The Color Trigger Hellish Blizzard, again, having that title on there on the side. I think this really is a nice accent. I don't know what it is, but I just liked this series alt arts a lot better than the rest, probably just because they are more like light focused and pretty shiny. We have Flashy Flash going into our green. We have a Moomin Rider. We have another Moomin Rider, so we'll just skip past that one. Puri Prisoner, which is, again, really good for the Hellbent style strategy I mentioned with Saitama, just trying to fill up your graveyard, make things cheaper. Very costly effect, as it were. Child Emperor. The Watchdog Man, who can't move but does give you double energy and is a active trigger, which is, of course, really important. King, the big one, again, the one I think that is going to fetch a pretty penny at the end because it is such a key staple for the deck and just a very good card. Atomic Samurai, Metal Bat, and Silver Fang, and then, of course, ending with Saitama himself, the green 15 energy version, which, again, does get cheaper. You have other ways to play it, but again, I think this will be the, at least for me, I think what will end up being kind of the big 2 of this set are definitely going to be King and the Saitama for the alt arts, because I think this deck is just going to pop off in a big way. So really excited to see where this goes for these 2 in particular. So with that, are you excited for One Punch Man to finally be arriving here in the States? Again, same time as the launch as Japan. Are you a new Union Arena player that is finally diving into the game? Definitely would love to know your thoughts. And also, what's your favorite deck? Are you planning for a specific archetype? Do you prefer to play a certain color? Definitely let me know in the comments below. But other than that, yes, coming up, shortly after this video, there will be the deck list video that contains all of them, the 7 different archetypes, at least that I have kind of on paper so far. We'll see what the final count looks like. Then, of course, we will be doing some One Punch Man battles, hopefully very, very soon. Of course, I got to sort and all that good stuff, but very excited to dive into this set a bit more. So with that, my friends, until next time, stay safe, stay hydrated, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.